So, Ubisoft just had their Ubisoft Forward event where they showcased all the new games that they have coming out soon. And the one that they showed off that I'm probably most excited for is Star Wars Outlaws. As you can probably tell, I'm a Star Wars fan. I've been wanting to make a Star Wars video for a while, but there's just there's just not much to talk about in regards to Star Wars. At least nothing really good to talk about in regards to Star Wars. I was thinking about doing a video on The Acolyte because I watched the first two episodes of that. And in fact, at the time of this recording, the third episode just came out. I haven't seen it yet, though. But that show is kind of just whatever. It's okay. I'm waiting to see how it goes. I don't really feel like talking about it. There's just nothing much to say about that show. But this new game, Star Wars Outlaws, I think there is some stuff to talk about. So at the Ubisoft Forward event, which was yesterday at the time of this recording, Ubisoft actually showed off a brand new trailer for the game and like an extended 10-minute gameplay section from the game. But that's not the only footage to come out of this Ubisoft event. A bunch of YouTube creators got to play the game early. They got to play like 3 different missions from the game. And from this, Ubisoft has released footage from this demo that these creators got to play. And you can actually find this footage online. It's around like 30 minutes of gameplay. So, taking that combined with the stuff that was shown at the showcase, we have about 45 minutes of new footage for Star Wars Outlaws. So I watched all of the footage that there is to see. And from watching all of it, I gotta say, I'm now excited for this game. I wasn't too sure about it the first time that they showed gameplay last year, but now that they've shown a lot more of it and they've shown more of what you could do in the game and more of the open world, I'm now excited for this. I'm now looking forward to this game. They say it's like the first ever open world Star Wars game. I think that's technically not true. I get what they're saying though. This is like the first Star Wars game that's open world in the sense of like Ubisoft open world games or something like Grand Theft Auto. It's more like that than, Knights of the Old Republic, which was a different kind of open world. Still, I think this game is something that us Star Wars fans need right now. I compare this game to like Hogwarts Legacy, where in the past we had Harry Potter games that, kind of had an open area to explore, like you can explore the whole Hogwarts castle. But Hogwarts Legacy was like the first game where you could really explore beyond Hogwarts Castle. You can fly around the Scottish Highlands and stuff. You could go to Hogsmeade. There's so much to explore in that game. And it was like the first game that really made you feel like you were a part of the Harry Potter world. I think Star Wars Outlaws is going to be the game that does that for Star Wars. Hopefully, anyway. I hope that's the case. Now, this is Ubisoft after all. I'm still a little skeptical. Everyone likes to say nowadays that like Ubisoft open world games are all the same. They're all repetitive. I don't disagree with a lot of those statements. But from this gameplay that they've shown for Star Wars Outlaws, it seems like this might be a little different. We might be getting something different here from Ubisoft. I actually can say this doesn't look like a typical Ubisoft game, and that's a compliment. That's a good thing. The first thing that really caught my eye was the space travel. I mean, the space travel in this game is done so fluidly. There are no loading screens. It's all hidden loading screens. You can go right from space and land down on a planet seamlessly. There's no break. There's no cuts. There's no loading screen, taking you out of the experience. Honestly, it really makes Starfield look like an Xbox 360 game. Actually, Starfield looks like an Xbox 360 game on its own. It doesn't need Star Wars Outlaws to do that. I mean, this is how space exploration should look like in this current generation of gaming. And I'm glad that they're doing it this way. It looks really cool. Now, it's not like No Man's Sky where you can land on any part of the planet that you want. I wasn't expecting that. But it does seem like there's a few select landing spots on a certain planet that you can pick to land at. As for the number of planets in this game, I'm not sure how many there are. I don't think they've revealed that yet, but so far we know Tatooine, Kajimi, a couple other ones. Those are the only ones that I could think of off the top of my head. It also looks like there's this abandoned fueling facility that they said was used during the Clone Wars, but is now overtaken by the black market. And this is where you go to like buy supplies, maybe weapons and stuff. That's like something you visit in space. The combat in this game looks really nice. I like the blaster that they have the character K using. It seems like you can add a bunch of upgrades to it throughout the game. There's like different firing modes, and like you'll have to switch firing modes, depending on which enemy you're fighting. Like if you're fighting a droid, you'll have to switch to an ion shot because regular blaster fire doesn't hurt them. I also like that you could switch your blaster in this game to stun, and this acts as a quieter use of your blaster that is better for stealth scenarios. So your blaster isn't completely useless when you're trying to go the stealth route. It all looks really fun to play. I can't wait to get my hands on it. The space combat looks good. It's nothing special. I wasn't really expecting anything crazy like what they did with Star Wars Squadrons. I wasn't expecting like that level of detail in the space combat, but what they have here seems sufficient. There's like little details that I noticed while watching like the 30 minutes of gameplay that like these creators got to play. At one point, Kay Vest says that she's from Canto Bight. So we might actually see Canto Bight in this game. I know a lot of people probably hate Canto Bight because of its use in The Last Jedi. Yes, that whole side quest in The Last Jedi was just a complete distraction and probably should not have been in the movie at all. However, the planet Canto Bight itself, I think, looks pretty cool and looks like, something that would be cool to explore. So in a video game, I think Canto Bight might work better as a location. And because it's like a casino planet, it offers a lot of opportunity for gameplay. You can go there and, play all the poker games or whatever. Maybe you can go there and gamble your credits to like gain more quickly than you normally would playing the game. I mean, now that I'm saying that could easily very well be a slippery slope that leads to horrible microtransactions. So if they do have Canto Bight in the game, I really hope it's not like real gambling where you pay real money to like get more credits in the game. Like, please, Ubisoft, do not do that with this game. But I think Canto Bight would be a cool location for this game to have. Another thing that I noticed from watching the gameplay was just like there's different ways to approach a mission. I noticed that there's also different uses for your like little pet that you have. I forget his name, but he looks like a little axolotl kind of thing. But at one point in the gameplay, you needed like a key card to get through this door. And what the player does in the gameplay is just send the pet over to the guy who has the key card, and it just picks the key card from him and gives it to you. And you can just get through the door then. Normally in a video game, you'd probably have to do that yourself, or you'd have to take out the guy and take the key card off his body. But I like in this game, you can just like bypass all that work and just have your little pet do it for you. I also love all the detail that they've put into the planets on this game. Like Tatooine, for instance, it really looks like Tatooine from the movies. And speaking of Tatooine and details, I'll say this right now. If there isn't an Easter egg on Tatooine where we can visit the scorched Lars homestead, I'll be disappointed. But in all seriousness, it really seems like they put a good amount of love into the locations in this game. So I really hope that stays true for all the planets that you can visit in this game. Another thing I noticed in the new trailer that they released is that there's a couple points where Kay is wearing different clothes. I know a lot of people are curious about like character customization, like can we customize Kay's look in the game? I know some people aren't really happy with the character design, but it seems like we might at the very least be able to change her clothes, which is nice. I always love being able to customize my character in games, especially in Star Wars games. I loved the amount of customization that they had in Jedi Survivor. I was really able to make my Cal Kestis look badass. So I hope I could do the same with Kay Vess in this game. I'm really hoping I could change her hairstyle. That's like one of the main things I hope we can change. I think her default hairstyle is fine right now, but if we could change that to make it look a little cooler, I'd be all for it. Another thing I would love to see is like being able to wear like a helmet or any sort of like face wear to really make you like look like a badass or like a more threatening scoundrel that like people wouldn't want to mess with. I don't know. There's so many Star Wars characters that wear helmets and masks, so it would make sense if they would allow us to do that in this game, but I haven't seen any evidence of that yet, but here's hoping that they do have that in the game. As for the story of this game, they haven't really revealed much about the story so far, which is good. I don't think they need to. I don't think they should. I think they should just save it for when the game comes out because you really don't want a game like this to be spoiled for you. We're only about 2 months away from this game's release anyway, and I already know that I'm going to play it probably, so I don't think it's really necessary to reveal any story beats. I'm definitely not going to pre-order it though. Honestly, I think we've all learned our lesson by now with pre-orders. You can never trust these AAA companies anymore when it comes to their launches. It feels like almost every AAA game now releases in a broken state. I mean, that's what happened with the last Star Wars game we got with Jedi Survivor. I mean, look at the launch of that game. And that reminds me, this is going to be the first Star Wars game that's released not under the EA license. So, I mean, except for the Lego Star Wars game. Lego always had an exception to that agreement. But Star Wars Outlaws is going to be the first non-EA Star Wars game to be released. So I'm excited to see what another company does with the Star Wars license. Ubisoft has a lot on their shoulders with this. You know, if this game turns out to be great, then I think the future of Star Wars games could be looking bright. If reviews are positive, you best believe I'm going to be buying this game day one. I'm just happy that we're getting a new open world Star Wars game where we can go from planet to planet seamlessly and explore the galaxy. I think that's going to be so fun. You know, this game really has a lot of potential, but we'll see if Ubisoft pulls it off. That's about all I have to say about this game for now. I would love to know your thoughts on this game. Do you think it's going to be good? Are you like me where you were skeptical at first, but this new recent gameplay that they've shown has, you know, made you excited? Let me know in the comments. I read all my comments. I want to hear all your guys' opinions about this game. Are you going to be waiting for reviews like me? I want to hear all your thoughts. And please don't pre-order this game. Don't. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel out. If you liked the video, please consider giving it a like. Also, if you like this content, consider watching some of my other videos. But anyway, that's all for me now. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.